Dear friends, now in this video, let us look on the algebraic expressions for the single variables. I am meaning to say when there is an equation or an expression where there are algebraic variables are getting used, how do we resolve such variables? So here you have to understand one thing. When we need to resolve the value of a variable, if we want to find out the value of x in an equation, that equation should have both left hand side and right hand side. First of all, that is the meaning of the equation. I am meaning to say we are equating something on the left hand side to something on the right hand side. It means to say, yes, we need to have something on the left hand side and yes, we need to have something on the right hand side. So here, since there is an equal symbol always in an equation, what I have done is I have imagined equal symbol to be a bridge. Now you can see in the rule number 1, bridge is dividing the LHS and the RHS. So imagine you are standing in front of the bridge. On your left hand side, you have left hand side of the equation. On the right hand side is the right hand side of the equation. And another important point that you have to note is that you are crossing only one bridge. You are moving from either from left side to right side or from right side to left side with only one bridge, because I have seen many students committing mistake here using more than one equal sign. That is so silly. So that's why I am mentioning this point also here, that we are using only one single equation when resolving the values of any given variables. So since there is only one equal sign, we need to have only one LHS which is on the left side of the bridge and only one right side which is on the right side of the bridge, RHS on the right side. Now the next most important thing comes is changing the sign. So in the first rule, the first one and the second one, what we understood is that we are going to have only one equal sign and we metaphored it to bridge. Now in the second one, we are going to think on changing the sign, the very most important one and the trickiest one. But I have made it very simple with this memory technique. Here, since you are crossing the bridge, now imagine that from your left hand side you are moving to the right hand side, and while you are doing that, the sign is getting changed. That is the symbol for movement from left hand side to right hand side. And of course the same thing happens when you are moving from right hand side to left hand side. So I have given the example here. If it is like plus 17, we are making it to minus 17. And if it is minus 24 on the left hand side, we are making it to plus 24 when we are moving it to right hand side. And the same thing is true when we have a constant on the right hand side or any variable on the right hand side and you want to move it to the left hand side. Again it is change of the sign. Plus gets into minus, minus changes to sign plus. So next, let us go for this fourth point. So here, if you understand the fourth point, what it tells that keep the same type of the variables, or in our mathematical terms we call them as like variables. Keep them on one side. It can be of course on left side or it can be on right side also, but keep them on one side. Got it? And here if you just observe, I have given an example, 2y plus 7 plus 3y is equal to 30. So here if you see, the variable y is repeated twice, 2y and 3y. So they are the like variables. So keep 2y and 3y on to the left hand side. Then what should I do with 7? Move that to the right hand side by crossing the bridge. Where is the bridge? The equal sign is nothing but the bridge. So you are moving from left side to right hand side. It means the plus sign has got changed to minus sign and plus 7 got changed to minus 7. Next, since 30 is not needed for operation inside y. In order to resolve y, 30 is not needed to be on left hand side. I have just kept it as it is. Since it is there on the place where it was, there is no need of change of the sign. The sign change happens only when we are making a movement. Next, the fifth point here tells move the different types of the variables onto the other side. I am meaning to say, let me take you with this example itself. We have 3a plus 5b plus 8 is equal to 24. So, let's say if I want to find out the value of a. So, I keep 3a onto the left hand side. But then 5b and 8, I will move them to the right hand side. Now, if that is the case, what will be the value of plus 5b? It gets changed to minus 5b. Next, move another variable plus 8, it gets changed to minus 8. So, then they get on to the right side, so it is easy for a calculation. Now, after giving out these rules, let's do one thing. Let's straight away get to the examples and understand them. A plus 5 is equal to 9, which is a very simple equation equating between the left hand side and the right hand side. So, now let us find out the value of A. So, here we got to know LHS is equal to RHS. This need not be there in your notes, or you don't need to write it or make it as a practice, but the thing is, in order to understand the concept, in order to utilize this memory technique and use the technique for movement of the signs, I have used LHS and RHS and I have written them here. So, a plus 5 is equal to 7. So, if you observe, the equal sign is a bridge. What we have to move from the left hand side to the right hand side, it is plus 5. Why? Because we are keeping the variable which we have to resolve, that is a, onto the left hand side, and rest of this we are moving on to the right hand side. So, when I am moving plus 5 to right hand side, the sign is getting changed. Imagine you are keeping plus 5 in a basket and you are crossing the bridge. You are taking the steps and you are crossing the bridge from left hand side and going down to the right hand side and keeping that basket or the item inside the basket, and that item has minus 5 now. So, therefore, a is equal to 9 minus 5, which is 4. Let me take you for the second example. It is telling 10 plus a plus 20, a plus 20 is equal to 20. So, here if you observe, we have the variables, like variables a repeated twice. This is a and 20a. So, push them on to one side. It can be of course on RHS or it can be on LHS. Since they are already present on LHS, why would I take the burden to move them to RHS, right? So, for that a and 20a, which is 21a. Next, I'll do another calculation. I already have plus 10. I already have 20 here on my LHS. Let me do the calculation here itself, being in LHS. So, 10 plus 20 became 30 and it's equal to 20, that is as given as per the equation. So, if that is the case, now I have 21a and I move plus 30 by crossing the bridge. So, it becomes minus 30. So, okay, it is 20 minus 30, which is 21a is equal to minus 10. Why? It is 30 minus 20, but the bigger number is with minus sign. So, I am keeping it as it is. So, therefore, a is equal to minus 10 by 21. So, that is the answer. Now, I will take you all to the third equation, which is telling 46b and 28b minus 20 is equal to minus 10b plus 28. Friends, so here in the first two equations, the first two examples, I had not stated the rules because since they were very simple, probably rules will not apply there. Now, I will go for the third one, make some standard rules. Maybe these are the repeated rules, or maybe let us look for them once more. Now, what I will tell in the step 1, group the like terms onto LHS and unlike terms and constants onto the RHS. If that is the case, 46b is on my left hand side, 28b on my left hand side and 10b also. And constants, unlike terms and constants I am moving. So therefore, since I don't have any other unlike terms, what I did, I moved the constants onto the right hand side. So here if we observe, on LHS we had 46b. In our main equation, yes, it is plus 46b. Then we had plus 28b. Yes, it is still plus 28b. Then look, minus 10b was on RHS. Move it down to LHS, it will be plus 10b, which is equal to, now move the constants onto the RHS. So the minus 20 turned out to be plus 20 because we crossed the bridge. And then plus 20 was on RHS. We did not cross the bridge with this. So therefore, it is just plus 28 itself. So if you observe, the minus 10b, which was on the RHS side, has been moved to LHS side, has been crossed to LHS side by crossing the bridge. So imagine you have a basket and you are on the right side of the bridge and you are taking minus 10b inside that basket, and you, as you move on, it became plus 10b to your left hand side. I hope this example is more helpful to you. This technique is going inside your heads. Let's go for step 2. Do the addition and subtraction if it is required for the like terms and constants wherever they are applicable. Yes, in the above, after the step 1, just check whether the plus or minus or whatever the relevant sum is required, or is it that we have to do? Yes, we have to do 46 plus 28 plus 10b, which is nothing but 84b, and again on the RHS side also we have the summation. So make the sum and get 48. Now step 3, take the inverse of the coefficient of the variable which you are resolving. Now tell me, which is a variable that you are resolving here? It is nothing but b. So the coefficient of 84b is 84, or the coefficient of b, what is seen in the equation, is 84, which we got it from the second step. In the second step, we simplified and got all the variables joining together, all the like terms joining together. It came out to be 84b. So the coefficient of b is 84. The inverse of 84 is 1 by 84. If you don't understand the inverse, there is another video which I have posted, which is about the division steps, which specifically tells on the multiplicative inverse. You can go check that. So therefore, now 84b is equal to 48 is what we got from step 2, and therefore b is 48 divided by 84, which is a multiplicative inverse of 84, 1 by 84. So therefore, in the step 4, simplify it further. Now let me take you to example 44. So here if you observe, this example or this equation has 14a and 14 minus 48 plus 24 into 1 plus a, and this is equated with 24a plus 23a and a constant as well. Again, observe your steps. Group the like terms. So if you observe the like terms on and group the like term onto the left hand side and move rest of this onto the right hand side. Why is this movement required? Because this gives a clear clarity on the variable that you need to resolve. So that's a simple reason. So okay, fine. If it is 14a is the one, a is the one which you have to resolve, then take all the variables aligned with a. So it is 14a minus 24a minus 23 plus a. So when you are moving across the bridge, when I said it is across the bridge, what is that? It is nothing but your equal sign. So when you are moving that, here you need to observe the change of the signs, which is the most important one. So observe here, the 14a is as it is because it is on the LHS again. So there is no problem in the movement, or we did not move rather. So minus 24a. So on the right hand side you have 24a, the plus 24a, and when it moved to the left hand side it became minus because you are crossing the bridge with this value. So the value got changed from minus to plus. Next, minus 23a. So now on the left hand side, if it has to be minus 23a, where was it earlier? It was on RHS, which was plus 28. So therefore, since we cross the bridge, make it as minus. Again, plus a. Then where was that plus a? It was on LHS itself. Since we are still on LHS, we did not cross the bridge with a. We did not change its sign. Then say equals and move the rest of the values to right hand side. Maybe they may be the constants, or they may be some other variables. Move everything else onto the right hand side. Now it is very simple for you to understand and very easy. We had on LHS plus 14, we made it as minus 14. Next we had minus 48, we can make it as plus 48. And it is 24 into 1, we made it as 24, we just simplified it there and we made it to minus 24. And minus 10, which was on RHS, we don't need to cross the bridge because we want to move to RHS only, and 10 is already there in RHS. My dear friends, here you can get a question as to why did you move 14 and minus 48, couldn't they be simplified there itself? Yes, definitely, just you can do the same thing. So you can also simplify 14 plus 14 minus 48 plus 24, and you can bring the sum together and move it to RHS. You can do that also. Done. Having said with step 1, we separated out the variables. We know what is there on LHS and RHS. Go to step 2. Do the addition and subtraction if required for the like terms and the constants wherever they are applicable. Yes, I am doing the sum here on the LHS. We got minus 32a. Of course, on the right side I have all the constants. Summing them, I got 4. And take the inverse of the coefficient of the variable. So here the variable a, its coefficient is minus 32. The inverse of it is 1 by minus 32. Therefore, a is 4 divided by 32, which is a is 1 by 8. Simplify further. We have already simplified that in step 3, and just we have given the answer here. My dear friends, having said this, this is a time for you guys to go ahead and practice following the above steps. All you have to remember is in the bridge and then movement from plus to minus, minus to plus while you are crossing the bridge. And of course, the BODMAS rule is to be applied, and it is kind of hidden or inbuilt or whatever you say, they are to be applied. So here, if you observe the example 1, it is you have to apply the BODMAS rule, meaning to say when you are coming out of the brackets, we need to say 3 into 2x minus 3 into 5. Next, probably the same thing goes with the 5th one and the 6th one as well. Please resolve these problems in your workbooks and show it to me. Thank you.